And we're back at the DownMarket house with the FeedBak podcast. I got Christy in the house. Byron is back as well. And I got Jacob. I got to pronounce your name right. Danklefs.
Danklefs.
Not even close. And my last name is fucked up too. So
hey,
I totally relate.
Danklefs is better than damn clits. I've gotten everything you can imagine.
Totally
yeah. I've gotten everything. So you're good. But Dank.
I dig
You
that.
just go by Dank?
That's the first 4 letters of the last name, so that's what everybody calls me.
There you go.
Cool.
And Kathleen Cavazos.
Yeah. Hey, that was good. That was pretty good.
Thank you. And we got Ben in the house.
Ben Hodge.
Ben Hodge in the house. So we're going to talk about fashion. Ben, you're a sneaker designer. Kathleen, you're a jack of all trades, right?
Basically, yeah.
Like what all do you do? What are your slashes?
Ooh.
Make sure you're speaking.
Okay, right now, creative director for Love and Chaos magazine. I'm a photographer, freelance videographer, and dang. Well, those are the top ones. And a published model. I model too.
Oh, wow.
Dig that. Yeah.
Ben?
I'm the CEO of a startup called EEVET Inc. I also run a 300-acre farm outside of San Antonio.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
So we want to get into like backstory, no pun, about how you guys got into what you're doing. Kathleen, why don't you go first? Like, how did you become this like photographer / model / all that? What was it that you went? That's it. This is what I want to do.
So basically, finding my passion for, I think I started like last year. I was like, look, I do too many things. I need to find out what I really like, what I really enjoy doing. And so when I started modeling, and that's when everyone was like, dude, well, you have the eye for it. You can just do photography. And so once I started doing it, it took off. Like a lot of people started noticing it. I already do videography, like film production, commercials and stuff. So I would say photography right now, it's just creating, inspiring others. That's mainly like my passion right now. So being the creative director for Love and Chaos, it's crazy. Like being having an opportunity to publish your work and get it out there and inspire others that are amateur creatives, professional. Like everyone involved in this magazine they're all starting off. They're all coming up there, and yeah, that's like my go-to right now. That's what I really love doing.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. How I started?
What was the moment and you're like, you know what, I'm going to design shoes now? Did you have that light bulb?
Okay, so I've been, since I was like 4 years old, I was like drawing shoes. My mom was even putting them in envelopes and sending them to 1 Bowerman Drive, Beaverton, Oregon, which is the Nike headquarters.
Wow.
By the time I was like 6 years old, she had mailed off probably 100 designs.
You ever heard back?
Never heard back. Yeah. But that went on throughout life. You know, I was on and off in the shoes, and then it'd be like shoes and surfing, then shoes, then basketball, then shoes, then high school was girls and beer. You know, but
yeah, pretty much.
Then after high school, it was like back on the shoes again, and that's where, you know, I'm 34 now. But since then, it's been solid. Since then, just in the shoes, collecting shoes. But then it got to the point where I'm an artist as well, so I was doing paintings of shoes, like portraits of shoes.
Portraits of shoes.
Yeah, sounds funny, but I had people ordering locally that knew I could paint that collected shoes, and they were like, "Hey, paint a shoe for me."
Uh-huh.
So I did it. This is before social media, so I'd end up putting it on like web forums for like shoe collectors, and they would see it all over the world, and I started getting orders. And then it got to the point where I was doing like 1 painting a month, charging $400 or $500 for a painting, but it would take me a whole month to do it. And I'm literally painting a picture of a shoe, like a portrait of it. So I started thinking like, man, I could paint on a shoe, you know?
I can make this shoe come alive.
I could literally instead of painting a shoe on canvas, I could use the shoe as the canvas.
Right.
And make something that nobody else has. So I started, then there was a lot of shoes that like Jude Law had or somebody like that were only made for him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I want that, So I would make my own, call it a poor man version, and then people started wanting that. So I started, I kept on doing that. At that time, I was a full-time energy efficiency consultant. So I had a full-time job. I was making good money. But on the side, I was doing that. And when social media came into play, like Instagram came in, I started growing a following on Instagram. And then in 2012, the company I was working for got bought out, stopped advertising. So my pay went next to nothing. But shoes were really taking off starting around 2012. And my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer. So kind of everything all happened in like a month like that. And I quit my job and focused fully on spending time with him and doing custom shoes full time. And he passed 2 years later, but he was alive to see like LeBron order shoes from me, Dwayne Wade, Wale, Trinidad James ordered some shoes. So he was alive to see some stuff happen, and he ended up buying me a 4-bedroom house right before he passed.
Oh wow!
And I was making LeBron's shoes on a folding table, like a TV dinner tray table, while watching The Fresh Prince, And Dad, like, he saw like something really like cool there. So, and he knew that things were going to expand and start expanding quickly for me. I didn't even see it. And so he bought me that house, and now that's 1 bedroom's a bedroom, but the rest is all workspace, studio space, So it's huge now. It's crazy now.
Yeah, I was looking on your Instagram, and yeah, it's crazy. And the thing is, what blew my mind and was that it's also topics. Like I saw a Snoopy one, I saw a Cheetos one,
yeah.
I saw a Whataburger one.
Yeah.
Like but your model, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like, look, I just do this once and I just come up with something and then I just ship it off and then that's it.
Yeah, so the regular client will come to me with an idea, and I'll kind of express and grow upon that, give them either written word on some ideas or an actual Photoshop of the shoe, how it could look, quote them on the price, they pay, you pay in full, that holds your spot in line, and then it's a 6 to 9 month wait for delivery.
Wow.
Now it only takes a day or two to make the shoe, but there's that many ahead of that person.
Oh, wow.
So, but the issue with that also is that you have now celebrities, athletes, mainly huge corporations that have seen how sneakers and that content that sneakers have online and how viral everything goes
right
with sneakers now.
So
they know that, and they want to use that as like a vessel for their brand. So I get hit up nonstop for companies that are going to throw $5,000-$6,000 to me to jump in front of that line and make a pair of shoes so that they could have it in 2 weeks or a week or whatever, I got hit up on Wednesday to do a shoe for High Times for the Cannabis Cup. Now, they hit me up Wednesday, and I have to have it delivered by Wednesday. I finished it last night. So I got to ship it out on Monday so that they can have it by Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah. But so that kind of stuff comes up a lot.
I want to open this to everybody, and Ben, feel free. There's something to say about the expression fashion statement.
Yeah.
Where you're actually the way what you wear, what you have on, whether it's your shoes, your hat, your whatever, no matter what the culture is too, right? That basically you're putting yourself out there, and this is how your expression of how you are and how people are receiving it. How do you guys feel about that concept? And I'm asking you, Kathleen. Like, do when you design your clothes or when you're wearing certain things, you're like, look, this is expression of myself, or this is, look, I'm trying. Like, what is the message? What are you trying to put out? I guess is my question. Sorry, it's kind of a long-winded one, but just bear with me.
Okay, so I used to put a lot of thought into like everything I was wearing, from like colors to sneakers, hats, everything. But now recently I changed to more of like a minimal effect. Everything, like I threw out almost all of my clothing, and I see it now like I don't know, more like monochromatic like colors, and just being like simple.
And do you feel, because like I feel like of everyone I can relate to you the most, do you feel like that's just like what's been in style and thus it reflects on who you are, like you identified with that? Because I know like that palette, like like it's been trending, like minimalistic living is trending, like,
yeah, it
the color
is,
palette is trending, and I really love like the outfit you're wearing now.
Thank you.
And like I feel like in turn you switched per se, not to like hats and like shirts, but to like statement accessories that really bring out minimalistic palettes.
Yeah. Well, okay, so before I used to have probably like 50 t-shirts, 50 pairs of pants and stuff, and so like my family, they're all hoarders, and so now I'm like, oh my gosh. So minimalizing is such an addiction. It's sort of like you threw out some things, you're like, oh my gosh, do I really need this? Do I need to buy it? So it's like with clothing, it's so hard for me to shop now, because I'm just like, oh, I'm probably going to wear it like one day. I have like some stuff that I'd never even worn before. And, but I feel like me, I get more compliments on just like an outfit that's like very simple, just like a striped t-shirt.
Do you
and
feel like this simplistic look is kind of what identifies as you at this time?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's going to change in the future?
Exactly. Yeah. So, okay, for example, like 2017 me, primary colors, I had the bob cut, like everything was, it was a lifestyle, totally. And so now, since I'm doing photography, I feel like since I'm putting all my creativity and like everything into modeling and photography, videography, and I feel like now the way I dress, it could just be super simple, and I'm still doing everything, but I feel like
but it's reflected in your life, in your daily life.
So
yeah.
in terms of like going back to your original question, like the fashion statement, she's making that statement. It doesn't necessarily have to be through fashion. She used to do it through fashion, but now that she has the outlets, now you know that is her statement. That's cool.
Well, I'm always curious as a creative, and this is to both of you. Like, there's the I just come up with shit all the time, and I just need the opportunity to put that out there. And then there's the, hey, I see this, and this sparks something in my head, or I'm researching something, and then it sparks something in my head. Which one are you?
Isn't that kind of almost the same?
No, it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think it is, because you can like, if I give you a shoe and I said, hey, you make me a shoe about Senegal, right? Would you go, okay, I need to know more about Senegal. I know a little bit about that, so I can do something, versus Senegal makes me think of this, and I make the shoe.
Well, it just depends on if you know about the thing or not. You know, I mean, but like, I don't know about Senegal, so we'll touch base on that. Like, I would definitely either ask you key points that you would want on the shoe, or I would, or say you were like, I don't know, man,
Do whatever.
creative freedom.
Yeah.
Well, then I would look up stuff, you know, and find out cool things about Senegal and try to incorporate that on the shoe.
Can I jump on that as a non-creative a little bit? I'm more on the business aspect, and it seems like what a lot of what you do is driven by is your actual customers and their want of a shoe from Senegal.
Exactly.
So while it may be intrinsic to create the shoe, he's really driving a business, and that's the part of artistry that I really look at to keep his art coming out, because if you can't make money on the next shoe, on the next photo, on the next video, you're not going to make another one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't make
about
shoes
that
for yourself?
sustainability.
I don't have time to make shoes for myself.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I have a ton of ideas that I just don't have
Okay,
time to do.
I have a really good question. May I?
But go for it. You have a mic.
Right.
Don't ask me.
Thank
This is
you.
a podcast.
I'm sorry. But okay, so as a creative, like I totally 100% like feel where you guys are, and we're all in different aspects in the terms of creativity, making that a career and or passion, right? So my question is kind of going back to how you wish you could make your own shoes. How has monetizing your passion affected your creativity?
Yeah.
Good one.
Answer for that?
Ooh,
I do.
You should go first.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would, in the past, go to stores and in the mall and look at shoes and see like, oh, that's cool, or that's cool, or this is cool, or that's cool. And that was kind of, or I'd want that or whatever. Now I go into a store and I see nothing but crap.
Oh man.
and I see nothing but blank canvases.
Right.
Or I don't look at certain colorways of a shoe as them looking cool. I look at like, oh, this tooling looks cool. Let's get rid of the rest and I can make something cooler on top of that. So is that kind of...
No, yeah. Basically, like, you went beyond than just the surface area at that point. Because now it's not just the appearance of the shoe, but it's the dynamic of the shoe.
Yes, and it's also, whereas, say, like, so Travis Scott. Travis Scott just came out and released that Jordan 1, brown Jordan 1, backwards swoosh on it. It's a sick design. It's nice. I don't have any part of it, though. It's a limited release, but they probably made a limited release to Nike's 20,000 pairs. So in the scheme of things of like me collecting now, that's also gone on haywire. I still collect shoes, but now it's to the point where, like in the past, I was making shoes because I was wanting to find the stuff that I couldn't afford.
Right, and you just make it.
And now I'm like, okay, I can either make something, or the biggest issue that I have nowadays is a lot of times if the shoes have released, then I don't even want it. Like, I want the samples. I want the stuff that like Shy McBride. I don't know if y'all know who Shy McBride is.
No.
He knows Shy
You want to explain? Because for
He looks like
audience,
Shy McBride. So, have you ever seen Waiting? The movie Waiting?
Yeah.
So the black dude in the back that's like wise, he tells the stories.
Yeah.
That guy is Shy McBride.
Oh, okay.
That guy's a friend of Jordan's, so he gets like crazy stuff that is only made for him by Jordan Brand.
Wow.
And occasionally he'll sell certain things to other friends of his that now I'm friends with. So like, me and him were the same size. So the stuff that is not released, that won't come out to public, is the stuff that I go after now.
Yeah.
As far as collecting goes.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah, making shoes has changed how I look at the retail market and everything. Huge.
What about people? When you walk down the street, you look at people's shoes
All
and
the
like,
time.
look, man, what the hell you wearing, dude? This
He
is
saw
No,
my
yeah.
shoes right when I walked
Those are sick.
in.
I've never even seen those before. I've seen the upper, but I have not seen that
Ooh.
sole.
Yeah, crazy.
I've seen that upper plenty of times.
Yeah.
They've been making that upper since the 80s, but
Yeah.
that sole looks like something that like
And what about
Stella
you?
McCartney did or something.
Yeah. What about you, Kathleen?
What was the
I
original?
know.
What was
Sorry. Yeah, it's been a while. How has like monetizing your passion affected your creativity? Because I know you do photography, modeling, and
Yeah.
it's one thing to model for fun. Maybe like you designed a shirt and you're like, oh, I'm gonna model it because I made this.
Yeah.
Versus like I'm gonna model because this person's paying.
Can I
me
jump
to.
in on that?
Yeah.
So another way that for me that has changed that might kind of spark you is so 90% of the stuff, maybe even 95% of the stuff that I make now are my ideas that I know are going to be dope for the public, but none of that crap I would wear.
Interesting.
I wouldn't wear any of it, but I'm not making it for me. I'm making it for the paying client. So I know that it's got to be dope to me, but it's not going to be something that I would wear. Do you feel like you do stuff like that?
I see it like
Like you're making it for somebody else, not for you.
sort of, yeah. Cause so I started modeling, and so now that I'm doing more photography, it's like I wouldn't want to model like this because I feel like I couldn't like do it exactly the way I wanted. So now I'm like, oh my God, let's go for it. Let me throw paint on your face. Let me do this. I wouldn't want paint on my face, but I'm like,
Like itching for that.
yeah, I'm like yeah, exactly. I have creative freedom. I get to do everything I want, and like now being the photographer, it's crazy. Like you get to see everything, and then oh man, I guess like being a model too, like you know how it is to be a model, and like you're waiting and all this. So now like as a photographer, I'm like, let's go, let's do this. Like let's just. You want to try this? Do it. Well,
let your guard down and just have fun.
Yeah, it's really
you're
fun
aware
now.
of being on the other side. And
Yeah,
what it's
exactly.
like, so you want to
Yeah.
those pains.
That's cool. That's awesome.
You know, one recurring topic over the last couple of shows we did is like people come up with business ideas, and they're all based on a personal story, and you guys, shared yours, but there is this sense of, oh yeah, let me show you how I do this. We had the Fashionista earlier, and they were talking about, we make coffee, and the experience of coffee is unique to everybody, but we want you to learn about what we do, right? Is that something that you guys either do now or plan on doing, where you can actually walk somebody through the process of making a shoe, or putting an outfit together, or doing photography?
Would you ever see yourself teaching someone else your trade?
She can recap my question in like 5 words, and I have
I'm
like 50 of them.
thank you, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Unless they're going to be working for me, no.
Interesting. I mean, why craft your own
There are
competition?
certain,
Well, I
YouTube
wasn't taught.
channels where people do like custom shoes.
Yeah, shoe surgeon in LA. He's traveling in LA, New York. He's got that on lock. He can do that. If he wants to do that, he can do that. I don't want to do that.
What's the reason, if you don't mind me asking?
I work so hard to teach myself and learn so much from that I think that's how you should learn.
It builds some like that charisma and like sense of dedication.
I get the mess. I could have a full on school with all the DMs.
Things that you've learned.
No, with all the DMs that I get of people wanting to do that.
Oh wow.
And asking, do you put on classes? Do you have,
Videos or
whatever,
something.
do you have a YouTube? And I could have all that, but I have the same, it might as well be a memo on my phone that I could copy and paste to every single DM.
Yeah.
Because I say the same thing, and I just tell everybody, just get dirty. Because the biggest thing with a lot of people on any kind of subject is, I want to do this. Well, stop fucking playing Pokemon and go fucking do it. Like that's the biggest issue.
No, that is
Bottom
true.
line.
That's the biggest
with
issue.
everything.
Is like just get off your ass and do it.
Yeah.
Like I went to the thrift store and started tearing shoes apart. They cost me $3, and then I would rebuild it out of IKEA bags or something, like whatever material I had, just to learn how to do it. I didn't have anything, but there's nobody on YouTube that can really teach you.
Yeah. You didn't have any mentors.
I didn't have
it
anything.
was all trial and error.
Nothing at all.
It's the best way to learn.
This is interesting. I feel. I mean,
But on YouTube, there's plenty of
Everything.
other things and avenues and ways that you could learn a lot of things. Shoemaking is not one of them. So, I don't know.
So, with your customs, you do like complete tear downs, rebuilds.
It started as paint, and now I literally make everything. It's to the point where the only thing, like the shoes that are on display out there, there's some that I did years and years and years ago that are just paint, and then there's some that I did 6 months ago where I'll take a shoe like this, and the only thing that has been recycled from it were the shapes of all the pieces of leather that were traced and repatterned, but the sole and the laces
we're the only
are the
from
only thing that was
shoe.
original part of that shoe.
Wow, man.
Can I take the opposite side of that question? Would you ever teach somebody to do what you do?
I have. I've taught people.
Right.
I mean, I'm all about.
I can see the
sharing.
reason why people do,
Yeah.
but for me personally,
main reason I do is because there's, I don't have the same competition. If someone else
Yeah.
is selling high quality sneaker remakes out there, of course I can understand you don't want to feed your competition.
Yeah.
Right.
In my particular business scenario, though, the more people I teach how to effectively run and book events, the more events, then thereby I
Yeah.
produce. So that's how I would say there's a give and take to every business model. And
Definitely.
I don't know. I'm the business guy. I really feel that way a lot of the times. And everything that he's saying is coming from a very well-established business. I listen to my customers. I follow through on what they want. And like,
Don't listen to feedback.
everything outside
The
of
only
that
person
is
that matters is the
everything outside of
customer.
that. That's a
Listen to
business.
feedback, but not listen
Oh, yo, listen to the feedback, but don't listen to the
I'll take
shit
it, I'll
talk.
So, but if we're really analyzing his business, or maybe even yours from that particular perspective of would you help someone else do exactly what you do? Well, if you think of all the content that's out there across all these distribution platforms, why would you want something else out there that looks exactly like what you're creating?
Yeah.
Whereas maybe let's say he wanted to then create a school later on because he got tired of making shoes and he wanted to have 5 guys that he really thought had a lot of talent make that for him. That's another business model altogether that he could tackle. And so I really believe in doing one thing well. I was in a punk garage band in high school that I got kicked out of because I was a shitty drummer, and I was an excellent promoter though. If you want to get people out for events, that's what I did in high school. And so rather than doubling down on a weakness, drumming for myself,
Right.
I doubled down on strength and focused on that business aspect so I could stay in the space of artistry because I have a lot of friends that are wonderful artists, but they're also in construction. They're also Uber drivers and Lyft drivers. And if you really want to put your time in to where, hey, all I'm going to do is this shoe today. It's kind of that business focus that you need. And every artist that I meet with, I meet a lot with touring artists and hobbyists and everyone in between. But those people that tell me, well, this is how I put cereal in my mouth. Those are the people that I really key in on. I look at their business model, and those are people then that I assist and sit down with to help them either replicate something similar to my own or something that's really up their avenue. But loving everything I'm hearing from a business aspect from these guys.
Yeah,
clients,
Save the
everything.
money.
It's almost I have the market cornered, you know, like there's, especially in the middle of the United States, there's Shoe Surgeon in LA, and there's Ubique Lab in Philly and Mosh up in Connecticut, and other than that, like I got everywhere else.
What
you
about
know?
internationally?
So when I started doing this, I had 1 or 2 clients in the United States, and then bam, I got hit with the overseas buyers. And I'd probably say now it's maybe 30% overseas, but they're starting out in the first couple of years, it was like 75% overseas.
Interesting.
Wow.
And the big reason why, because I collect runners for the most part, not basketball shoes, which overseas they call trainers. So in the Netherlands, Germany, and Europe and all that, they're really into their runners. They're not into basketball shoes, you know? So for whatever reason, that's what I was into. That's what I was collecting. That's what I was using as my canvases. So I was customizing a lot of runners. So generally, my clientele was coming from overseas, but people here were asking for basketball shoes.
Right.
Stuff
Different
like
Yeah,
market.
growing up, Air Max I grew up in France, and Air
Yeah.
Max was like the
That's
shoe.
it. That's it.
The shoe.
Yeah.
But I want to follow up with you because I haven't had a chance to
Oh,
answer
what?
the question. As far as like passing that knowledge on to somebody else, how do you feel about that?
Ooh, I would say it's a hit or miss, because with me, like I've had experience where I've taught something, and then I just see my idea
Yep.
just
Somewhere else.
Yeah, and no credit at all.
Yeah.
And so now, like, when people do ask me advice, I'm like, I could send you this YouTube video, man. Like, this is the same one I saw. Or I'll just say, like, hey, well, you should just start by uploading on Instagram or use hashtags or stuff. But, like, strictly photography, I'm just, just play with it. Or just, like,
go back to what he's saying.
yeah,
just gotta
if
get
I could
dirty
say
and just
ditto,
get some
ditto.
equipment and play with it, go to
Yeah.
shows. That's Byron. He just self-taught himself. Just
Yeah, started doing photography about a year ago, and I like live music, so I started going to shows and doing concert photography. Did a lot of YouTube video watching, and just kind of, trial and error and seeing what works and what didn't, and trying to find a style that you're comfortable with. So that journey and process in itself it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun in the journey as far as learning and being creative and still diving into something new and challenging.
It's like the value is not the outcome; it's the journey.
Yeah,
It really is.
definitely.
It really is. And
Yeah.
people talk a good game. You know, people get online. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Or some of your friends sometimes. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this. I'm like,
Yeah.
just fucking do it.
We're all guilty of it.
Man.
Yeah, we are. Oh, I got this going on, that going on. I'm like, no, dude. It's just fucking do it. Nike. It's really
Ooh.
that
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
I
Like my buddy Norm that spoke earlier.
Yeah.
Out there. I don't know if y'all have been in here. I'll probably get to.
I
hear
didn't
it.
get to go outside though.
Yeah, he earlier today he used to do these things right when Instagram first started, the 15-second video.
Right.
Remember, it was like that was all it was.
Yeah.
He started doing a thing called 15-second sneaker reviews. And
Sneaker
it was,
reviews?
Yeah, it was literally a 15-second sneaker review.
That's really cool.
And it was awesome. And like it started working out for him really well. He's big on Puma, so Puma started taking notice of him. Things were going good, and for whatever reason, like he like reviewed all of his shoes and then just kind of stopped. He didn't have other shoes to review. And like I've told him for years to like start that up again. And we were in the parking lot earlier, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know, but I've done all my shoes." I'm like, "Dude, that was like 5 years ago."
You did 20
the
shoes.
people that you have viewing you now are completely different than what you had viewing you back then. And we have friends all over the place that have shoes. You have True North Sneaker Boutique is here in town. That's friends of ours. You could go over there for an hour and pick up a shoe, do a 15-second sneaker review, change his view, pick up another shoe, do another one, and keep doing it. He's like, "Yeah, but then," I'm like, "Shut
the
up,
fuck
do
up.
it. Just do it." Like he's like, "Oh, I want." The only thing keeping you from doing shit is yourself.
Yep.
You know?
Really? I started doing stand-up in January, and I was like, there's a competition in Austin called The Funniest Person in Austin.
Oh,
It's
wow.
every year. And I've been a fan of comedy for 20 plus years, easy,
Yeah.
French and American. And for years I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I just decided I did it. I did 17 open mics,
Yeah.
and then I entered the contest. You set a goal, and then you just stick to it. And then
Yeah.
you're gonna fail. You're going to they just gotta fucking do it. When y'all got in this, it started off as a passion that then turned into money,
Career.
right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, if I do A, B, C, and D, then I'm gonna make the money, right? They don't think of it as a journey, a passion, and then the money comes, right? Have you guys encountered that around, with other creatives, and what's your response to that?
To people thinking it's easy?
Not that it's easy.
Or like-
No, but they're doing it for the money versus doing it because they love doing it. Like they get in the
man.
game because it's dollars.
Say most of them can't afford to do it for the money to get started.
Yeah,
Someone has to
Yeah.
pay for it to get started.
And like when you got into events, like were you?
I was, my origin story. I was working barbacking at a bar called Treff's in Waco while I was going to Baylor University, and the band didn't show up. So they asked me to go ahead and find somebody last minute. I popped a reggae band up there. They liked it, and from there, I started booking out 4 venues while I was a sophomore in college to pay for Baylor and everything else. And while I was getting my second degree, the double down moment really happened when I got in a big fight with a rapper. He's a basketball player at the university. He wanted his friends to go up on stage and do a bunch of stuff that I just wasn't on the contract or agreement. And I fought him, shut the event down, gave everyone's money back, and particularly that's when I exited live entertainment to think of a different and better way to do it because it was very contentious. Have you ever heard of a money room? A money room? Okay, let's say after this event we made a bunch of money in ticket sales and other things. All of us are going to be shithoused. We're going to go get in a room with that money on the table, and we're going to split it up fairly amongst those of us who put in work.
That's
That
hard.
must be
That
intense.
sounds horrible.
That must be really intense.
I'm a
was Norm.
26-year-old kid, and like I got grown men ready to fight me about how much money was being made at the end of the night. But I'm getting way off on my origin story. Particularly, I got in that big fight. It made me quit, and that's why I brought now escrow payments. So if you want to buy a home, You have to put that money in escrow, make sure that it passes, and yada, yada, yada. We do the same thing for events because they are major purchases. And the bigger part, I guess maybe even why Jal asked me to be here, is a big goal of ours is to protect creatives. We know that they are a lot of times startups, fledgling businesses that are trying to grow, figure out those revenue streams, and get in front of customers that want to buy their products. And I think of just event spaces as unique opportunities to do that, because a lot of people don't sell things on the internet directly. You have to be in that one-on-one scenario with them to understand their art, get a deeper look at what side or reality this artist is trying to play of society and whatever they see, to then get to that point where someone's just critical. I want to buy this. It identifies with who I am and what I would like to also project out into the world. I'm getting way off track, but I feel that all those things really happen at events. That's why I get excited about them and why I want to be here.
Sweet. All right, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to play a little game of word association. So you're looking at me like, oh, what's about to happen? Nothing. Well, no, it's not dirty. It's not. It's not. It couldn't be. We can switch it up if we want, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go around the room. Game of Thrones. Thank you.
Never watched it.
Me too.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is like
You have time. You don't have time.
I was also
musical
not
chairs.
watching.
So what?
Musical chairs.
It's like musical chairs?
Musical chairs.
Game of Thrones, musical
Yeah.
chairs.
Oh.
Get it?
Got it.
Wait, so we're
good one.
supposed to say? I'm so confused. Wait, what's going on?
So like the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
Me?
No.
Oh,
Another
what?
word. Best tacos.
Torchies.
Torchies?
Okay.
All
Can I
right.
get a fifth one too?
You like torchies? All right.
I thought you were San Antonio. What about Data Point?
No.
What
All right.
Yeah.
Ben. Here's a good one for you. Trump.
Next question.
Good answer.
That was good.
Good answer. Here, want to wrap up?
Yeah. Netflix.
And chill.
Hey.
Common one.
Yeah, common one. Come on. That's a good one. Spurs.
Spurs. Sad.
Aww.
Not this time. It's okay. We'll be back.
Yeah.
You'll be back. You'll be back.
Yeah, it's a sad time to be a Spurs fan right now. Yeah.
Oh, you mad too?
Oh no. Put the
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're gonna wrap things up. We're gonna go around, tell us where people can find you, your Instagrams and your social medias and all that good stuff. Thank.
Yeah, best thing. So JW Danklefs is my IG. That's JWDANKLEFS. If you don't want to look that up, just Google Dank Customs, and you'll find everything you want to know about me.
Your Instagram is on fire, man. Some really dope shit out there. Check it out.
You have a really amazing brand name.
Yeah,
it's
Dank. I lucked
so-
out.
fits
You
so
signed
well.
Dank? You sign your shoes Dank? On
Yeah.
the sole, on the bottom or something?
Yeah, on the under the insole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kathleen, where can people find you?
Instagram, KalonCat, KalonKat, or you could just Google KalonCat and like all of my stuff will pop up.
Cool.
So
Sweet.
yeah.
Ben?
You can find our stuff. You can go to our website at EEVET.com, EEVET.com, and I'll be there to assist you with booking shows and putting on events.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And y'all have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
Cool.